Oh, the promised mental health video at quite an appropriate time. I'm actively going through antidepressant discontinuation syndrome at the moment, and I've noticed a pattern that at 4 o'clock precisely, my brain goes into overload. I've had a very long mental health journey. Today was a particularly hard day of it. I'm sick of the roller coaster, the ups and downs of life. Wish they weren't so sharp. Wish they weren't so sore, both in shape and pain. Seems to be nothing in the middle at the moment. Just either pure brilliance or pure awful. So my mental health started very early on. My dad and stepmom try and tell me it's just an excuse, but a 7-year-old doesn't make excuses when it comes to taking their own life. I tried at that age, and I was diagnosed at 11 with depression. I was put on Zeroxap, the experimental version of Zeroxap, and I lasted, I think, about a year before they thought I was okay again. It seriously wasn't. It wasn't until I was 26 that my mental health journey restarted properly. I cried out for help a few times, but got absolutely nowhere. I got on 2 different antidepressants because talking therapy was not working. My partner at the time had been through the psychiatric system a number of times. The she who shall not be named, the mother of my daughter. And she managed to get me firstly onto, I think it was citalopram, then sertraline, and then venlafaxine, because she gave me one of her stolen diazepams. And it very much reduced the amount of social anxiety I felt. So that was a nice kicker towards SNRIs. SSRIs are a little bit brute forcey, and I don't think it's actually the serotonin that's fucked in me. She unfortunately got very involved in my mental health. I was diagnosed with anxiety, and that was a good thing that she helped me do, get that diagnosis. Wow, symptom understood. But unfortunately, that relationship led towards me having postpartum psychosis, which I think I had with my son as well, but I can't be sure. It was labelled as cannabis psychosis because prior to she who shall not be named, I had a weed habit. Occasionally it became a problem, but it never got so bad as to be an addiction. Danced around issue, didn't get addicted until she took over. And she reported all of the cannabis use as being solely mine. She blamed me for spending all the money when it was her who had control of the money and was making the arguments that led to us smoking more and more and more. And then somebody stupidly said that weed can cure morning sickness. And poor old Kate, the princess, was going through quite severe morning sickness at the time. And she thought she was royalty, or as good as royalty, or wanted to be treated with the same sympathy that she saw everyone else treating the royals with. Her morning sickness wasn't bad. She threw up maybe 3 days. That's pretty fucking light when it comes to morning sickness. But it was mislabeled as psychosis in general. Postpartum psychosis and psychosis are two completely different beasts. Both the postpartum and the psychosis words that are in the diagnosis are both pretty damn inaccurate. Sometimes you can lose reality in these states, and it can become psychosis as well as a comorbidity. But I personally believe that postpartum psychosis shouldn't be in the place it is. The word postpartum, it means to most people that men can't get it, which is untrue. Men rarely get it. But I am living proof that men do in fact suffer postpartum psychosis. It's postpartum depression that men can't suffer because our oxytocin cycle at the point of labour is obviously missing for certain understandable reasons. We don't have the same architecture. But since then, I have struggled to get medical attention adequately because I've used the word psychosis. And that diagnosis comes with the attachment that whatever the sufferer perceives as reality is in fact false. I've learned that actually that is an incorrect diagnosis for me because I retain insight. I retain a lot of things that psychosis doesn't have. I am able to check my hallucinations and obsessions and things like that perfectly well, and self-manage and make better decisions than somebody with, say, schizophrenia. I believe it's more schizotypal, but I haven't yet have a confirmed diagnosis. I've been speaking about this on and off with doctors for the last 10 years, but because the word psychosis is used, then my credibility disappears. So eventually I got on duloxetine with her help, she who shall not be named, and it was really good. It's a really good medication for me personally. Boys and girls, ladies and gents, don't give up on your antidepressants after a couple of weeks. Not unless they're doing what trazodone did to me. A really severe reaction. It's going to feel shit for a while going on to any new medication. I think it's called antidepressant flu. I satirically came up with that idea myself through how fast duloxetine's antidepressant flu is. I didn't realise it's an actual medical term. But yeah, 7 years or so on that, trying to keep myself together under increasingly severe mental health trauma that has been confirmed to be CPTSD because of the amount of abuses and traumas that I've been through, the amount of things I've seen happen to others that are unforgivable. My brain hates seeing other people in pain. Duloxetine started to become ineffectual after my parents, my dad and my stepmom, and Clayton Court, more due to the fact I'd been on it 7 years, or 6 or 7 years at that point, and I stopped really taking it effectively. I accidentally tapered myself off from 90 milligrams, which was, if anyone actually knows how heavy duty duloxetine is, the fact I didn't suffer ADS then was a bit of a miracle. I got put on to mitrazapine as the next step on the ladder, which was great for my anxiety, but did nothing for my depression. So a kind, lovely doctor suggested adding sertraline back in, and I happily accepted because I realised a different situation might work, might not. Unfortunately, it didn't. It all ended in a huge serotonin cascade. I believe my acute psychiatric disorder this time can be labelled as serotoninosis and caregiving exhaustion, burnout, and then my purpose disappeared. So I had quite a natural breakdown. And today my dad and stepmom, well, my stepmom only because my dad was too chicken to come to the door. I had a lovely day yesterday at the Church of England church, and it was beautiful and wonderful. And I woke up in such a good mood that I thought I'd go and attempt to be nice one more time to parents that don't fucking deserve it. I got faced with a wall of condemnation, condescension, and being told I don't take responsibility for anything and I'm a massive know-it-all and I think I know better. I do when it comes to myself. And being pretty responsible over the last 3 years. I've not got thrown out of my home. I've got on and off drugs a couple of times. I've done a job that, ironically, I think I might suffer the same thing as the people that I was working for, including my neighbour. I might have a bit of autism, ADHD, and schizotypal, and epilepsy. Not just depression and anxiety, and it's not an excuse. It's what they said, what my stepmother said. It is just an excuse. A broken brain is not an excuse, it is a reason why suffering happens. If you're a parent, especially if you're a parent who's estranged, if your child comes back into your life and says, help, I'm sorry, I'm broken, believe them, love them, accept them for what they are. I mean, it's not like I'm a murderer, and there's plenty of parents who still love murderous children. My parents, neither of them, nor their partners, think I'm worth anything. They think I'm irresponsible because I throw myself in psychiatric. They think I'm irresponsible because I burn out, because I don't work all the time. My dad, neurotically, instead of taking antidepressants, works hard. He's had a heart attack last year, and he's still driving around a truck, delivering. He's going to kill himself through overwork, because when his mum passed away and he felt grief and he struggled and he had anxiety, he took the pills for a couple of weeks, and since then he's just worked and worked and worked and worked, never staying still. And he had a heart attack before he was 50, or just over 50. I don't know, my sense of time is a bit mashed at the moment. I've been fighting to find out what's wrong with me for years. Psychosis has held me back. Poisoned landmine given to medical staff as a part of fraud from she who shall not be named. Screwed up my mental health journey for 15 years, while also accelerating it to one thing that worked, duloxetine. Right now, I feel the lowest of lows, but this has been the same for the last 5-6 days. It's a horrible train I've got to ride at Christmas when I mourn the most. I hope you all had a good day. I hope you all have a good day. Don't do any New Year's resolutions, guys. Do a New Year's revolution. Make next year better than this year. Do that every year. Don't do one thing that you're going to give up on after a couple of months. A revolution is coming. The revolution of self. The revelation that somehow I'm adulting. I don't know how, but I know why. Because I love my kids. And if they're going to see a tragedy, they're at least going to see a tragedy that is fighting a heart. To all of you who do not celebrate Christmas, I hope you had a beautiful observation of a holy festival. That's what I did. I'm not religious, but I went to church for Christmas and it was beautiful. Just like I want to see the world as. But right now, after all I've been through today and this year, everything I see in the news, man, it's hard to see it. So I'm going to do the only thing that one can do when life is too much. Bed.